With Abdulfattah Adeyemi, you unlock a world of wisdom, growth, and connection. It's time to live, love, learn, and build a better world together. Be inspired. Be motivated. Edit your universe.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon all of us. My name is Abdulfattah Adeyemi, and I welcome you again and again to our discussion of today, reaching you from the platform of Bainakum Family Counseling Center, Abuja and International. The topic of discussion is, are you really you? Are you really you? It's a question, it's a topic, it's a challenge, it's food for thought, it is something to jolt us. It's a kind of question that you have to answer, and you are the only one that has the answer by yourself. There may be a situation where you never knew exactly who you are, and sometimes you know who you are, you have just forgotten who you are. So my dear brothers and sisters, permit me to begin today's discussion, therefore, with a rather unusual invitation. I want you to imagine someone gives you a very beautiful key, and then the person says, this key belongs to you, or belongs to your house. And naturally, you'll be surprised, you'll be like, my house? I've never seen this kind of key before. And the person just simply nods and then leads you to an enormous mansion, big mansion. And you see the, you see the big mansion, and the guide said, welcome home. Then you'd be like, but there must be a mistake. I've never lived here before. Then the guide smiles again and says, no, you have always lived here. Then the guide opens the front door, and inside this mansion, there are hundreds of rooms, all sorts of rooms. One single key opened the mansion, and each of the doors, they have their keyhole for you to, to open each of the doors. Plenty, doors. That means many rooms. And the places were filled with beauty, wisdom, creativity, strength, and peace, everything. And all of these doors are labeled accordingly. The door of peace, the door of wisdom, the door of creativity, the door of strength, the door of spouse, the door of wealth, the door of health. Now you have all these doors all around, and they were all labeled like that. So meaning that it is your own mansion, and all that is left for you is to open whatever door that you want to open. Allahu Akbar. Yet something immediately catches your attention apart from all of that, and that is to say, almost every room is locked. Some are covered with dust, others have never been entered before. Some doors seem as if they have waited for years, perhaps decades, for someone to finally turn the handle, because there are spider webs around the handles of the doors, some of the doors. Then the guide asks you one simple question. How many of these rooms have you explored? How many of them have you ever entered? Then you suddenly realize that you have been living your entire life in only one room. You realize that all these other rooms were there, and you have not been able to open them. So what if that house is you, actually? You are that mansion with so many rooms in it, and you have spent the whole of your life focusing on only one of the hundreds of rooms that you have there. What if your soul is far more spacious than your current experience? What if there are rooms within you that have never been opened? What if there is courage inside you that fear has never allowed you to discover? What if there is wisdom inside you that silence has kept imprisoned? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar Kabira. Oh, Allahu Akbar. You've really suffered, you've come a long way. What if there's generosity inside you that comfort has never awakened? What if there's leadership? What if there's creativity? What if there's compassion? There's patience. There's a door of vision. There's a door of mission. There's a door of health. There's a door of wealth. All of these doors have remained hidden because you have never even entered these rooms. Subhanallah. And maybe the greatest unexplored territory in your life is not somewhere on earth that is far away. It is somewhere within you. And that is to say that human beings have always loved exploration, normally, naturally. You know, we humans generally, we cross deserts, we climb mountains, we sail oceans, we fly into space, we descend to the depth of the sea, we search for lost cities, we search for hidden treasures, we search for ancient civilizations. Yet, there's one journey that many people never begin. The journey into themselves. A person may know every street in his city, yet the person will remain a stranger to his own soul. He knows the geography of nations, but not the geography of his heart. He knows the history of civilizations, but not the history of his own becoming. He knows the names of famous people, but cannot answer the simplest question of all. Who am I? It is not a question of asking, what do I do? Or what do people call me? Or what qualifications do I possess? But simple question that goes, who am I? Who am I beneath all the labels that people attach to you? So when someone asks, who are you? We usually answer with borrowed identities. You'll be like, my name is so and so. I am a doctor. I'm an engineer. I'm a teacher. I'm a businessman. I'm a mother. I'm a student. Some people will even say, I'm a politician. Those are, well, they are nice descriptions anyway. But none of them answer the question. Your profession is not you. Your nationality is not you. Your wealth is not you. Even your personality is not entirely you. Those are rooms, not the whole house. And some people spend their entire lives confusing one room for the entire mansion. Allahu Akbar. No matter what, I want you to know that Allah never created small souls that's only confined to only one room. Allah never creates insignificant human beings that are cramped into only one edifice, into one room. Allah creates unique human beings. And the Quran reminds us that the human story begins with honor. Allah says, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي Adam. Quran chapter 17 verse 70. Indeed, we have certainly honored the children of Adam. I want you to take note of the fact that Allah says we honored the children of Adam. Not we honored only the rich or only the powerful or the famous or the scholars alone. Allah honored humanity itself. Everyone is honored. So before you achieved anything, Allah has already honored you. Before anyone applauded you, Allah has already dignified you. Before society gave you a title, Allah has already given you worth. The value of a diamond does not begin when someone discovers it. It possessed value while hidden beneath the earth. Likewise, your worth does not begin when the world notices you. It begins with the one who created you. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So look at it now. Look at the rooms you have never entered. Perhaps there's a teacher inside someone listening to me right now who has never stood before a classroom. Maybe there's a writer who has never written a page. Maybe there's a leader hidden beneath years of self-doubt. Maybe there's a peacemaker that is trapped beneath old wounds and trauma. Maybe there's a reciter of the glorious Qur'an who has convinced himself that his voice is ordinary. And maybe there's a servant of Allah waiting quietly behind a door that is labeled one day. But one day has become 10 years. 10 years became 20 years. Then 20 years, an entire lifetime. How heartbreaking to die never having met yourself. Allahu Akbar. You've roamed around, but you've never met yourself even for once. Before we ask what career we should pursue, don't you think that before we ask whom we should marry, or before we ask where we should live, don't you think we should ask a better question? It is not who do I want to become. The question is, who did Allah create me to be? Allah says He has honored the children of Adam. Has Allah not honored me? Because the answer to that question changes every other question. You get to see that Allah has honored you already, and you need to ask yourself, how and who did Allah create me to be? Allahu Akbar. And the Quran says, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. And within yourselves, will you not then see? Will you not look deeply so that you can see? Quran chapter 51 verse 21 is where Allah is giving us this challenge. I want you to reflect upon this verse. Allah directs our attention within ourselves. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ. Within ourselves, as if He is telling us that, look, there are signs inside you that you have not yet noticed, and as if to say, there are so many doors, there are so many rooms inside your mansion that you have not opened. Look deeply, get the keys, open these doors, at least discover the treasures that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept there for you. And perhaps one of the greatest acts of worship is actually learning to see. Afala tubsirun, can't you see? To see what? To see what Allah has already placed within us. That is one of the greatest acts of ibadah. Now, what about the keys? Yes, going back to the magnificent house now that we entered a few minutes ago. You remember that door, now the mansion. You see the endless corridors, the beautiful architecture, the countless locked rooms. Yes, the doors that had not been opened for years. Now, imagine yourself standing before one particular door. It is old. Dust has settled upon its handle. Cobwebs hang from its corners. It looks forgotten, abandoned. Then you place your hand upon the knob and it refuses to move. You push, nothing happens. You pull, still nothing. You try to turn, it is stuck. Then someone walks towards you without saying a word, and then they place a small key into your hand. Allahu Akbar. They give you the key and they say, use this key to open the door. So you insert the key, the lock turns effortlessly, the door slowly opens, and inside, you discover a magnificent library, shelves stretching from floor to ceiling, books you never knew existed, wisdom waiting patiently for years, knowledge that belonged to you all along, yet they remained inaccessible. Books that carry the talent that Allah has given to you, that carry the code of your life. The question is, did the key create the library? No. The library was always there inside that room. The key merely gave you access into that library. And this is one of the greatest misunderstandings about life. We often believe that life creates us, whereas life simply reveals us. So you are not changed, you are not recreated, you are revealed. And let me unpack this for you. We think that we are changed by the people we meet. We think we are changed by the books we read, the conversations we have, the love we chose, the families we have, the friends we have, the guys we hang around. But what if this is a lie? What if the people and experiences do not change us? What if they only unlock what was already there? What if the person you became after the conversation, after that book, after that love, what if that person was not created by them, but was revealed by them? Yes, revealed by them. Let me explain further. I'm sure you are going to find this very, very interesting to understand. The metaphor of the lock and key is central to understanding the unlocked self. That is, your potential is the lock. The people, the experiences, and the loves of your life are the keys. Some keys fit, some keys do not fit. Some keys unlock vast rooms of possibility, while some keys leave the door closed. The Quran says, Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. This one of my favorite verses of the glorious Quran. Quran chapter 13 verse 11. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. The change is not external, the change is internal. The external is the key that unlocks the internal door. The book is not the knowledge, it is the key to the knowledge that was already within you. The person is not the love, they are the key to the love that was already within you. So every person you meet is a key bearer. That's what I'm trying to say. The key is not the real you we are talking about. They are not the ones that make you who you are. They are the ones that unlock the doors that reveal who you truly are. Have you ever met someone and after only one conversation, your entire life changed? This is not because they gave you money or they gave you a job or they gave you an opportunity, not because they solve all your problems, but because somehow they awakened something inside you. Yes, they revealed something inside you. Perhaps they believed in you even before you believed in yourself. Maybe they asked one question that refused to leave your mind. Maybe they saw a gift in you that you had overlooked. Years later, you still remember them. Why? Because they carried a key. So they are among the key bearers of your life. Some people enter our lives carrying keys to courage. Yes, the door of courage. They simply give it to you and then you open your own door, your own room of courage. Others carry keys to knowledge. And some carry keys to healing. Others carry keys to discipline. Some unlock our confidence and others unlock our humility, while some unlock our paths to wealth. Allahu Akbar. You just met these persons, they told you one or two things, and then the doors of your wealth begin to open for you. A righteous spouse may unlock tenderness you never knew existed. A child may unlock mercy. A difficult parent may unlock patience. A sincere friend may unlock honesty. You will not know that you have that potential to be so rich until you meet a good friend that is wealthy and they unlock that richness in you. Your brain suddenly started working, and then your eyes suddenly began to open and you started seeing opportunities where other people saw challenge. It is this friend that just came around and say, open your eyes, see what I'm seeing, see what I'm looking at. Even an enemy may even unlock the door of forgiveness. Subhanallah. Allah sends different key bearers into our lives because not every room opens with the same key. When we came to this world, nobody handed over all the keys to our hands. The only key we need for the start is the key to open the front door and every other door inside our mansion. Sometimes we have to look for the keys. The keys are not for granted. The keys are to be sought. Although let us not give too much credit to the key, because sometimes when we believe that people and experiences change us, we give them power over us. We believe that without them we will be nothing. We believe that without the keys we will not be able to enter any room. We believe that our identity is contingent on their presence. This is a dangerous belief, nevertheless. It makes us dependent too much on the keys people are carrying around us. It makes us afraid. It makes us hold on to people and experiences that have already served their purpose, simply because we fear that without them, we will disappear. Without them, we'll be locked out. Without them, we'll be stranded. But the truth is something that should liberate us. You are not dependent on them for your existence. You are only dependent on them for your expression of your existence. The person you become in a relationship is not created by that relationship. They are unlocked by that relationship. Do you get the difference now? They are not the ones to make you. They only unlock your potential to become what you are already becoming. And if the relationship ends, the person you become who you are, and it doesn't disappear. They remain a part of you because they were always a part of you. And here's the deepest question of the unlocked self. And that question we asked earlier on, who are you really? In reality, who exactly are you? Who are you when no one is looking? Who are you when there's no one to love? When there's no one to impress? When there's no one to prove yourself to? When who are you when the room is empty? Who are you when the keys are not turning? Who are you when the doors are closed? Who are you when there's nobody to give you the key? You need to know that first, because who you are will determine whether you eventually get the key, or you open the right door, or you just stand there looking at the door, praying that the door should open someday while you are still holding the key in your hand. Do you understand what I'm trying to do? Am I talking to somebody there now? You are there chanting Ya Fatah, Ya Fatah, oh Allah, the opener of doors. And you are there looking at the door. You are there holding the key. And you are not inserting the key to open that door. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. So the answer, when I say, who are you, when the keys are with you, and you are not turning the key, you are not turning the door, the answer is not nothing. The answer is potential. Who are you? You are Mr. and Mrs. Potential. You are the seed that contains the orange. You are the lock that holds the key. There's a saying that goes, Man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa rabbahu. Whoever knows himself knows his Lord. And what is it to know yourself? It's to know your potential. It's to know that you are not created by external forces. It's to know that you are a soul unlocked by the world, but not dependent upon it. You are not dependent upon the world. It is to know that you are a seed waiting for the right conditions. It's to know that you are a lock waiting for the right key. And if you look at the natural world, like you normally say, like we normally do, consider the night sky. The stars are always there. They do not need the darkness to exist. They need the darkness to be seen. Your soul is like those stars. It is always there. It does not need people. It does not need experiences. It does not need love to exist. It needs them to be revealed. Get it? Do you understand? The stars are already in the sky. It only needs darkness for us to see them. But that doesn't mean that the stars are not there. The Quran says, Wafi anfusikum. Remember that verse? Afala tubsirun. And in yourselves, you will see signs and wonders. You find everything you are looking for. Don't you see? Quran chapter 51, verse 21. Look within, see the potential, see the seed, see the soul that is waiting to be unlocked, and trust that the key will come. And when the key eventually comes, it will reveal what was always there. Now, don't forget what I'm saying. You actually need the key to open the doors. But the thing is, even when the keys are presented, will you open the door? Will you consider the right door to open? Do you know which door is next to be opened in your life? That is the question. And I want you to think carefully about the language we even use in everyday. You say, that teacher made me successful. That book really changed my life. That marriage really transformed me. Or my children made me to be patient. Or you say, that tragedy made me to be stronger. That disappointment made me to be wiser. That journey made me to be, to be greater in life. Did they really? Or did they simply unlock something Allah had already placed within you? Allahu Akbar. If you are not ready to change, there's no amount of book you read that will change your life. If you are not prepared to become successful, there's no amount of teacher that can make you to be successful. They simply unlock something that Allah has already placed within you. That patient person was already there. The wise person was already there before you read the book. That's why you were able to bring wisdom out of that book. The compassionate person was already there inside you. The resilient person was already there. The generous person was already there. The room already exists. It simply needed a key to unlock the potential that is you. And how often we praise the key while forgetting the beauty of the room itself. It is not only about the key also. it is also about the room itself. The room already exists. Everything is already there. The room is already waiting. The book was already waiting for you. And just like the book example we mentioned, have you read a book that felt as if it had been written especially for you? You understand that kind of a thing? You read one paragraph, then another, then suddenly you stop, you close the book, even when you have not finished reading it, but you close the book because the book has begun to read you. Allah Akbar. The book has started reading you. Has that ever happened to you before? You ask yourself, where has this book been all my life? Because everything you read in the book was just speaking straight to you, including lectures that you listen to. You listen to a lecture and you be like, where has this lecture been all my life? No, the better question you should ask is, where have I been all this while that I did not read this book, that I did not listen to this lecture? Because maybe the book has been waiting patiently on a shelf until you became ready for the room it was meant to unlock. And maybe the lecture has been waiting patiently on your device until one day when you became ready to listen to that lecture and unlock something in your life. If you are not ready to unlock the blessings in your life, no amount of lecture you listen to can ever benefit you. So timing is one of Allah's greatest mysteries. Not every key arrives early. Not every door should be opened immediately. Some rooms require maturity. Others require patience. Some rooms require, pain. Allahu Akbar. Some require tawbah, sincere repentance to Allah before it can open. And some room requires, tears. You need to cry before it can open. In fact, crying is the key to unlock that door. Allah knows which key belongs to which season of your life. If a very young person gets the key to wealth too early in life, the same wealth might destroy them. It is not because wealth is intrinsically destructive, it's because the person is not matured yet for such enormous wealth. You must have seen that in everyday life. A young person suddenly becomes too wealthy and then it becomes destroyed because of that same wealth. Allahu Akbar. And just like we say, getting a book, getting a lecture does not make you to become successful if you are not ready. Pain does not create the depth of your life. Allow me to share this observation for you from many years of counseling. I've observed when people say my suffering made me stronger. I understand what they mean by that. But maybe there's a different truth to that. Pain itself does not automatically produce wisdom. You understand now? If it did, every suffering person would become wise. But sadly, that is not the case. While some people become bitter, other people become better with the same pain. The same storm produces different outcomes. Why? Because pain is not the designer, it is the key. It unlocks rooms. Inside one room, there is gratitude. Inside another, there is resentment. Inside another room, there is faith. Inside another room, there is despair. The storm simply opens the door. The choice of which room to occupy belongs to you. Allahu Akbar. So you can have the key. You can open the room. But what you make of that room still goes back to you. You can open the door and enter the room of wealth. For you to become rich is up to you. Allahu Akbar. Now you see everything is going back to you now. But nevertheless, let me also mention this other side to you. Have you ever wondered why certain people entered your life for only a short time? Yes, a teacher may enter your life for just one semester. And that teacher is a key to unlock something. After that semester, if you are not unlocked in your potential, then it is gone. It is what? It is gone forever. A neighbor may enter your life for just 1 year. What you make of that neighbor within that 1 year is up to you. And if you don't make anything, that neighbor will be gone forever. A colleague for a few months, a traveler or a stranger you met while traveling, Just for that moment that you share the aircraft seats together, just for the moment that you share the car seats together, if you are traveling by road, you met that stranger, Allahu Akbar. Whatever you make of that is up to you. Once that stranger walks away, they walk away from your life forever. And so many of us, some people walk past you for just a moment. And that moment, guess what you were doing? You were busy pressing your phone. Your face was looking down. You did not look up to see that stranger that just walked past you. You did not see the stranger. Your eyes did not lock with that of the stranger. The stranger looked at you, and that stranger happened to be the key to your life. But that key has walked past because you were busy pressing your phone, laughing like a fool at some stupid skits you are watching. Allahu Akbar. The people who hold the keys to your life, they have just walked past within that moment. You are busy pressing your phone. And no wonder many people are restless. Up till now, they are still looking for the right keys to open the doors of wealth, to open the doors of opportunity, to open the doors of marriage, to open the doors of love, the person you will have loved to marry. The person that knows the person that should marry you, that person has come, the person has walked past you, and you are busy pressing your phone. Shame on you and your phone that you are pressing, because this stranger has passed. There are appointments of keys. Keys don't just stand and wait for you forever. Allah designed the appointment, the time when you are supposed to pick up these keys and actually open the doors in your mansion that will make your life to be better. A spouse you marry for the whole of your life, they must have entered into your life for a reason. Yet they left a permanent mark upon your life. And maybe some were never meant to stay. Maybe they had only one assignment, and their assignment is just to deliver a key to you and walk away. Because once the room opened, their mission was already complete. But you did not give them the opportunity to get the key from them. You did not avail yourself the opportunity to collect the key from them so that your door will be opened. Allahu Akbar. And how beautifully Allah manages our lives. Some people are companions for a lifetime. Others are keys just for a moment. Both are gifts. But be careful still. Be careful. Look for your keys. Identify your keys. And be sure that these keys can open the doors to your rooms. And when these rooms are opened, also be careful what to make of the things you find inside these opened doors. Not every key opens a room. Some keys can only lock the doors. Do you want me to say that again? Not every key opens a room. Some keys lock doors. Not every key contains the code that can open a room. Some keys only have the codes to lock the doors. There are friendships that awaken faith in you, and there are friendships that bury it. There are books that illuminate the heart, and there are books that confuse you. There are environments that nurture your fitrah, and there are environments that suffocate it. There are voices that remind you who you are, and there are voices that persuade you to become someone Allah never intended you to be. Not everyone that is carrying a key should be trusted with your house. You may see somebody who is carrying a key to one of your doors. Rather than for the person to give you the key, the person will go ahead and open the door and take everything that's inside. Then you are left looking cheated. You are left looking deceived. You are left looking as if somebody has taken advantage of you. It happens, it happens. It really happens. Somebody may come around, look at you, see your potential, harness your potential, grab your opportunities, and make good life for themselves. And they go away with your blessings. Allah will judge truly, but we are going to wait till the day of judgment. In this world, you have already been robbed. You have already been deceived. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar Kabira. You have already been cheated. So, not everyone carrying a key should be trusted with your house. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Ar-rajulu ala dini khalilihi, falyanzuru ahadukum man yukhallil." A person follows the religion and the way of his close friend. So let each of you carefully consider whom he takes as a close companion. Your companions are not merely sharing your key, they are not merely sharing your journey. Many of them are handing you keys, and many of them are collecting the keys from you. Choose carefully the kind of friends that you keep around you and the kind of people that you surround yourself with. Allahu Akbar. I hope I'm speaking to someone. You only need to continue to be as intelligent as you are, to continue to follow what I'm saying, to continue to taste and savor the sweetness of what I'm cooking. And what is the greatest key of all? Among all the keys Allah places in our lives, there's one key unlike every other one. And that key is called Al-Qur'an. The Quran does not merely teach information. The Quran opens chambers of the heart. How many people have recited the same verse for years, only to discover one day that that particular verse suddenly speaks to them directly and differently? Did the verse change? No. The room changed, or perhaps the room finally opened. Allah described the Quran as guidance, as light, as healing, and as mercy. Light does not build a room. Light reveals what was already there in the room. This is exactly how the Quran works. The Quran is perhaps the greatest key ever given to humanity, and the Quran indeed, definitely, is the greatest key you can ever get, because the Quran unlocks the soul for you. And the first key the Quran hands over to us is that, is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created our forefather, our first father, Adam alayhi salam. Allah did not begin by giving him wealth or power or kingdoms. Allah began with knowledge. Allah says, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا, and Allah taught Adam the names of all things. Quran chapter 2 verse 31. Knowledge was the first key, because ignorance locks doors. Knowledge opens them. Every time you sincerely learn something beneficial, another room in your house quietly lights up and open. And maybe that is why seeking knowledge in Islam is itself an act of worship, because every authentic insight brings you closer, far beyond mere information, but to yourself. So the first key you need is knowledge, and grab that one. The Quran is the key that hands knowledge over to you, over and over and over again. The Quran is the key that unlocks the door to every other blessings in your life. The only thing is, are you ready to listen to the Quran? Are you ready to open the doors to which the keys have been given to you? May Allah make it easy for all of us. Let us continue now, because there's another part of the journey that we need to have. Do you know that many of us, when they ask us who we are truly, the reason why we are not able to figure it out is because we are all wearing masks. We have been wearing masks for a long time, to the extent that the mask has become the face itself. Have you ever watched an actor perform on stage? When the curtain rises, he becomes someone else. He speaks another person's words. He wears another person's clothes. He laughs another person's laughter. He cries another person's tears. When the performance ends, he removes the costume, he washes off the makeup, and he goes home. The tragedy is that many people never leave the stage. Every morning, they put on another costume. One for work, one for social media, one for friends, one for family, one mask for the mosque, and one mask for business, one mask for strangers, and one costume for success, and one costume for failure. Eventually, the costume becomes so familiar that the actor forgets his acting. Allahu Akbar. So when they ask you, who are you? The person can only remember the role that he's playing, the mask that he's wearing, the things that he's doing. And who are you? I am a doctor. I am a teacher. I am. They mention anything they want to mention, but they don't know how to mention themselves. This is when the mask no longer covers the face. The mask becomes the face itself. So many of us, we have been living undercover. We have not been living the authentic realities of ourselves. We have been living a life wearing mask. And living undercover has a cost. It's a situation where you are pretending to be somebody else and then you become the person. It's a situation where, let's say you are an intelligent person or you are an intelligent officer, you are a police officer that's undercover and you are living amongst criminals. After a while, even you too, you became a criminal and you forgot completely that your job was to uncover the criminal activities of those criminals so that the crime can stop. But you have lived undercover to such an extent that you are now a criminal. It is a cost you pay every day after that, and you pay this cost in ways you may not even realize. It's like somebody that was sent to go undercover to discover where people buy and sell drugs. And when he got there, he forgot why he was there. He also started taking drugs. Now he's an addict now, and there's no way out for him to escape being an addict, a drug addict. That is not where he started from. He was only to be there undercover. He has forgotten himself. He has lost connection with himself. And you, if you are that person, you no longer know who you are. You have gone crazy. You cannot remember that you are there undercover. Now you are a druggie yourself. You have worn the mask so long that it has become your face. You have mingled with wrong people to the extent that you are now a wrong person. Allahu Akbar. You have lived amongst people, you have followed some friends, you have associated with some class of people, and you have moved around some people because you also want to belong, you also want to be seen, you also want to be heard, you also want to be validated, you also want to be happening. And then every other thing is now happening to you because you did not remember why you were there in the first place. You cannot distinguish between the performance and the person. You lose connection with others. You cannot truly connect with others when you are wearing a mask. You know, they are connecting to that mask, not to you. And you are connecting to their mask also, not to them. You lose connection with Allah. Allah knows the real you. He sees through the mask, but when you are hiding from yourself, you are also hiding from Allah. You cannot stand before Allah in authenticity when you are living a performance. You don't perform to Allah. Excuse me, you can't deceive Allah. Don't you know that? Now you lose your sense of purpose. The mission you were created for is buried beneath the masks. The great giant in you remains asleep. You are living a fraction of the life you were meant to live. You are just living just 1% of the true life you are supposed to live. And you know what the Quran says? The Quran says, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ. Do not be like those who forgot Allah, so He made them to forget themselves. Quran chapter 59 verse 19. When you forget Allah, you forget yourself. When you lose connection with the source, which is Allah, you lose connection with your own soul. The mask is a symptom of this forgetting. The mask is the evidence of your separation from yourself. So this is why so many people today, they ask, who am I? Who am I? While they are searching everywhere except with the one who created them. If you are searching for who you are, you need to search with Allah. Search for yourself with Allah. It's Allah who created you. Is He has the plan? Is He has the blueprint? Is He knows who He has created? Allah asks in the Quran, Allah ya'lam man khalaq wa huwa al-latiful khabir. Will Allah not know who He has created? And another verse of the Quran says, Rabbukum a'lamu bikum. Your Lord knows you very, very well. Allah knows your authentic self. Allah knows you well enough. If you are looking for yourself, return to Allah. Open the glorious Quran. The Quran is the key for you to rediscover who you are. So if you are asking, who is the real you? Go and ask the glorious Quran. Allah has already described you there. So return is possible. The mask can be removed. The dams can be dismantled. You can cry if you need to cry. The authentic self can be rediscovered. And let me quickly mention to you how you can rediscover this. Number one, recognize the mask. You cannot remove what you do not see. Begin by noticing the mask you wear. Notice when you are performing, notice when you are hiding, and notice when you are being someone other than yourself. Step two, ask the right questions. Ask yourself, who am I when no one is watching? Who am I when I'm not performing? Who am I when I'm not wearing a mask? Who am I when I'm not afraid? The answers to these questions will lead you to the real you. Who am I when you are not the mother of somebody, when you're not the father of somebody, when you're not the sister, the brother of somebody, when you're not the husband or the wife of somebody, when you are not a doctor attending to patients, when you're not a teacher teaching in the classroom, when you are not an executive bossing people around? Who exactly are you when you are not wearing that uniform? Who exactly are you when you are not wearing the tie? Who exactly are you when you are not inside that office? Who are you when you are not riding the car? Who exactly are you when you are not living in that house? Who the mashallah are you when you are not occupying that office and you have people around you, you are calling them, they are saying yes sir, they are saying yes ma to you? When we remove you from that environment, we take you far to where nobody knows you. Who exactly the mashallah are you? Maybe for the first time in your life, you discover that you are only wearing masks, you are absolutely nothing, and you are nobody. Maybe by the time you begin from there, you start building the true value of your life for yourself. You start knowing precisely who you are when there's nobody around. When that document you are given is taken away from you, the document that says you are the chief executive, the document, the letter of appointment that says you are the boss in this place, the document that says you are the owner of this house, the document that says you actually have a PhD, the document that says you are now a professor, the document that says you are now this and that. When those documents are removed from you, who the mashallah are you? Allahu Akbar. No wonder many of us, when our certificates are questioned, then we just realize that we are nothing, we are zero. When somebody takes your ID card away from you, who do you think you are? Allahu Akbar. When we remove all the money in your bank account, don't you realize you become zero? You become absolutely nothing. If that is what is happening in your life, then you have to understand that you have to ask yourself a lot of questions. In fact, we got to talk. Let me put it that way. Yeah, you got to talk to yourself. And step 3, remove the obstructions. The authentic self is not something you need to create. It is something you need to uncover. Remove the exhaustion, remove the fear, remove the ignorance. What remains is you. Remove the positions, remove the provisions. Remove the people that are chanting you, the people that are praising you, the people that are commending you, the people that are complimenting you. Remove all of them. What remains is the real you. And step 4, reconnect with the source. That's Allah. The authentic self is not separate from Allah. It is connected to Allah. It's the Fitrah, the primordial nature, the soul that was created to know its Lord. Reconnect with the source through prayer, through remembrance, and through reflection. That is the way out. And finally, step 5, live authentically. The authentic self is not a destination, it's a practice. It's the daily choice to remove the mask, to be real for once in your life, to live in alignment with your true nature. It's the courage to be seen as you really are. And how did we even get here in the first place? Who did this to us? Who taught us that we should be pretending and wearing masks all around? If you can know who you taught you this, maybe you can continue to live authentically. When did you first begin pretending? Was it when someone laughed at your dreams, or when your tears were dismissed as weakness, or when your curiosity was mistaken for foolishness, or when your mistakes became labels? When you discover that people rewarded performance more than authenticity? When did you discover this one? When did you start pretending? Because now we are saying, okay, maybe you are pretending to be the overall boss because of the office you occupy. What of you that's not occupying the office? When did you start pretending to be a poor person? When did you start wearing the mask of somebody who is downtrodden? When did you start wearing the mask of a messenger instead of a manager? You know what I'm trying to say now? I'm trying to balance it up. It's not only about the person that is wealthy, that is pretending to be Lord God Almighty. But what of the person that is the subservient person? The person that is the servant, that is slaving around people, instead of being somebody that is worthy of the name, worthy of the self. So you became quieter than your soul, or you became louder than your heart. You smiled when you are breaking. You agreed when your conscience objected. You agreed, you submitted when you are supposed to repel the person that's oppressing you. You laughed when you wanted to cry. You said, I'm fine, while your spirit says, please, someone notice that I'm not. When your mind is shouting, please help me, I need help, help. That's what your mind is shouting. But you are pretending that you are fine. You are smiling to deceive people. Many people have become fluent in the language of performance while forgetting the language of sincerity and authenticity. So I'm telling you, try to be authentic for once in your life. We live in a world that's like a marketplace. What do they sell in this world? They do not merely sell products, they sell identities in this market. They sell you every day. They say wear this, they say drive this, they say own this, they say look like this, they say speak like this. They sell you follow the trend. They say become this version. Every advertisement carries the same hidden message about who you are, and they say who you are is not enough. So we spend years purchasing symbols, hoping they will manufacture significance. But identity has never been sold in a marketplace. Authenticity is not sold in the marketplace. It is entrusted to you by Allah. You already have it. You don't need the applause. You don't need anybody to clap for you. At first, you simply enjoy appreciation. Nothing is wrong with that, actually. Then something changes. We begin depending on appreciation. Very soon, our decisions are no longer guided by conviction. They are guided by approval. The applause that once encouraged us has now become our master. And the other side of it is this. Sometimes it's because some people are criticizing us, and then we are trapped into that room of criticism, and we start living the life of that criticism. When people criticize us, then we diminish ourselves as if to fit into that criticism that they say we can never be, or that they say we can never become. We need this courage, brothers and sisters. We need this courage. The courage to remove the mask and become authentic. The courage to stop diminishing yourself. The courage to stop dimming your light because some people are uncomfortable with your brightness. Removing a mask is very frightening, actually, because masks protect us from rejection. Masks protect us from criticism. Masks protect us from vulnerability, but they also imprison us. They also diminish us. Allahu Akbar. A bird may become comfortable inside its cage, and comfortable is not the same as free. Likewise, many people have become comfortable performing, but they are no longer free to be themselves. The thing is, authenticity requires that courage. Not the courage to impress people, or to impress society, or to impress the trends, or to follow the trends, or to achieve virality, but the courage to disappoint people. Yes, especially if pleasing them requires displeasing Allah. What I'm trying to cook is that there should be no conflict between who you appear to be and who you truly are. That is one of the greatest gifts Allah can grant His servant, to live without the exhausting burden of pretending. That, ladies and gentlemen, is true freedom. And I pray Almighty Allah should grant us the freedom for us to keep away from the custody, from keeping the custody of our lives in the hands of some other people. Allahu Akbar. Some people have the custody of your mind. And you have to ask, who has the custody of your decisions? Who has the custody of your emotions? Who has the custody of your dreams? Who has the custody of your fears? Who is really living your life for you? Who is really steering and directing your life for you? Is it the people or Allah? Who has rendered your mind to become a rented property when after a while now, you no longer own your mind? Your mind has become rented property. Every opinion on social media now moves you. Every criticism now unsettles you. Every compliment now defines you. Every trend now redirects you. Every headline now disturbs you. Every rumor now bothers you. A rented house can never truly become a home. Likewise, a rented mind can never discover peace, because peace requires ownership. So please own your mind. Stop being performative and stop pretending. You need to scale this prison that you have put yourself into. And the Quran asks you to return yourself to the ownership of yourself. Everything around you wants custody of your life. Everybody is negotiating for the custody of your life. Your peers, peer pressure wants custody of your life. Your lower self, your nafs, is also looking for custody of your life. Even Shaitan wants the custody of your life. Allahu Akbar. Everybody is struggling for your life. Everybody is struggling to hold the key to your life, because they have discovered that your life has the key to unlock some kind of potentials in you. And when you eventually become yourself, none of these people will be able to have any power over you anymore. That is the game. That is the game. I hope you understand the game now. Everybody is struggling to overtake and override your life. And they want your sleeping giant to perpetually continue to be asleep. You are a giant. You should stop. If you stop, mistaking who you are for what you are not. Look, brothers and sisters, you are an earthworm. Stop crawling towards a plate of spaghetti. You are a whale. Why are you pretending to be a catfish? Why are you reducing yourself to being a catfish when you are actually a big whale that is meant for the oceans? What are you doing in sweet water when you are meant for the salty, mighty ocean? Why are you reducing yourself? You are wearing a wrong mask. Some other people pretend to be bigger than they are. But you are pretending to be smaller than you are. What kind of a person are you? Please rise up. You can do better than this. And you are much, much better than this. You are not a butterfly. You are an eagle. You are meant for somewhere that's much bigger and higher than this. Allah did not create you to be small. Allah doesn't create mediocrity. Allah has given you extraordinary potential in life. And you have to understand the difference between existing and actually living. It's not the same thing. They are two different things. So please, don't allow yourself to be confined to the symmetry of unused gifts. This is a very painful experience. I want to share this thought with you. I sometimes wonder where the greatest library in the world is located. Some people say it's in Alexandria. Some people say it's in Baghdad. Some people say it's Oxford or Al-Azhar. I don't really think these libraries are in those places. I think the greatest library is the cemetery. Yes. You know why? Because buried there are books that were never written. Allahu Akbar Kabira. There are ideas that were never explored. There were schools that were never founded. There were acts of charity that were never performed. There were children that were never inspired. Inside the cemetery are dreams that were never pursued. Inside the cemetery are du'as that were never made. Inside the cemetery are information that were never uploaded onto the internet. Inside the cemetery are part of the codes that people will never discover. Inside the cemetery are potentials that were never awakened. Allahu Akbar. Do you know, or do you realize that of all the knowledge that we have out there in the libraries, out there in the e-libraries too, out there on the internet, the knowledge that the world possesses and the knowledge that is already out there for us to look into, the books that are there for us to read, they are not up to 40% of the knowledge of humanity. Humanity, human beings, 6 billion human beings on earth today. I'm talking about real human beings. 6 billion real human beings today. We have not achieved the potential of the knowledge that we have, to the extent that it's only about 30 or 40% of this knowledge that we have in the digital world, that we have in the libraries all over the world. The remaining 60 or 70% are still locked up somewhere, and many of them are already in the cemetery, buried with the people that had this knowledge. And for the human beings that are even on earth still alive now, there's so much knowledge that are yet to be recorded, so much knowledge that are yet to be uploaded, because it is not all knowledge that can be written down. It's not all knowledge that can be documented in these our conventional ways. Some knowledge are better experienced through the people that have this knowledge, through the people that have this knowledge, through the people that have this wisdom. Allahu Akbar. And you are also guilty of this. Imagine standing before Allah to give account, and you are not only accountable for what you did, but also for what you could have done but you have refused to do. Allahu Akbar. For the doors you are supposed to have opened, and the treasure inside was supposed to be useful for humanity, and you have left this door closed because you refuse to go ahead and open this door. The giant within you is there, but you have refused to rise up. Stop wearing this small mask. Like I said, Allah did not create mediocrity. For every poor person that you see, that person has the potential to be rich. It's just that something somewhere along the line, they are holding the wrong keys to their lives. For every ignorant person out there is a learned person. It's just that somehow they are holding the wrong keys to their life. For every homeless person you see out there not having a place to rest their head is someone. For that same person is the same potential to have a mansion in which they will live. Things are not exactly the way you think they are. Some people's keys have been taken away from them, from those who know how to use the key, and they have used this key to unlock doors that have become greatness in the life of those who actually stole this key or hid this key away from them. Who is holding your keys? Who is hiding your key? Who is robbing you of the keys to your life, if not yourself? And you got to wake up and claim your keys and move ahead in your life. You are not actually empty. You are blocked. There's difference between exhaustion and obstruction. In everyday language, people will say, recharge your battery, or refuel your car, or will say, restore your energy. In everyday life, also, people say, recharge yourself like a battery. Will say, refuel yourself like a motor vehicle. Will say, restore your energy. As if something essential has already disappeared. And what if all of these things are still there? You are the one that is refusing to unlock them. The reality is that your energy is not sapped, it's only trapped. You are not drained, you are blocked. What if your energy has not disappeared? You are not a rechargeable battery. What if your purpose has not vanished? What if your creativity has not died? What if your faith has not become extinct? What if they are simply unable to flow? So that's why I say you are not drained. You are simply blocked. These people in the world, you know what they normally say to you? They tell you to rediscover yourself. They tell you to re-unlock yourself. They tell you to reinvent yourself. No, you are not reinventing anything. You are actually who you are already. And It's because you've forgotten who you are. It is the blockages in your life that are not allowing you to discover the flow of your life. Now, do you know why children even laugh more than adults? Let me remind you. Let me remind you of what you enjoyed when you were a child. They used to sing for us or ask us to sing. If you are happy and you know it, clap your hands, then we clap. Something like that. When was the last time that you clapped your hands? I'm asking you. If I sing this song for you now, will you clap? You don't even remember how to clap again. You don't remember how to be happy again. You don't even know whether you are happy or not. Because your happiness has been blocked. Do you remember yourself as a child? That was long before comparison. That was long before status, long before titles, long before applause, long before you are trying to please somebody else, long before the fear that you have. You know, children possess something remarkable. Have you noticed that children laugh easily? They laugh without permission. They wonder easily. They are curious. They are present. They are alive. They are ready to go anywhere you are taking them to. They ask without embarrassment. They wonder without shame. They cry without pretending. They forgive without calculation. They are close to their fitrah. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Mami mauludin illa yuladu ala al-fitrah. Every child is born upon the fitrah. Then something changes. Years pass. Responsibilities increase. Disappointments accumulate. Expectations multiply. And adulthood is not supposed to kill those wonders. I think it is sin and fear and ego and forgetfulness that has made you to forget the wonders that you have. The world begins writing upon the pages parents, culture, school, friends, media, trauma, success, and failure. None of this can erase your fitrah, but they simply overwrite your fitrah. The original handwriting remains beneath. The child does not completely disappear. The child simply becomes buried beneath layers of anxiety. So I'm telling you this, the reason why you cannot discover who you are, the reason why you don't know the real you, is because you have forgotten the child in you. You have forgotten to be playful. You have forgotten to wonder. You have forgotten to laugh. And your heart is also carrying too much. That is why you are not who you are. You are not who you are supposed to be. That's why you are not unlocking your potential. You are carrying too much load. Imagine pouring sand into a beautiful fountain. The fountain was built for water, not for sand. The heart was created for Allah, not for endless worry. It was not created for endless envy. It was not created for endless competition. It was not created for endless noise. When we fill the heart with what it was never created to carry, it becomes blocked because the contents are misplaced. You are pouring water into the fuel, into the place where you should pour fuel of the car of your life. You are using the wrong keys to yourself. You are carrying unnecessary burdens. You are carrying too much in your heart. But let me advise you. You should remove, don't replace. You don't need to replace anything to your life. You don't need to add something to your life. You only need to remove something from your life. You are already complete as you are. You don't need another course. You don't need another achievement. You don't need another, another possession. You don't need another degree. You don't need another productivity system. You don't need another motivational slogan. You don't need anything again. What you only need is to remove. You don't need to add. Remove. That's what Islam says. Remove arrogance. Remove envy. Remove hatred. Remove heedlessness. Remove pride. Remove despair. Remove unnecessary noise. Remove the pretense. Remove the bad advice you are getting from people. Remove the fear. Remove the resentment. Remove the doubt in yourself. And maybe your greatest breakthrough in life will not come from adding another skill. It will come from removing another obstacle. Sometimes growth is subtraction before it is addition. Allah is not asking you to become someone artificial. He is inviting you to remove everything that never belonged in your soul. So keep chipping away, chip away until the servant Allah created begins to appear. You don't need more energy. You only need to remove what is draining your energy. Allahu Akbar Kabira. You don't need to add more glasses. You need to remove what is blocking your view, what is blocking your sight from viewing what is real in your life. So I need to excavate the person that Allah has originally created. You don't need to become. You don't need to become. You need to build. Allah Akbar. Let me tell you again and again. The world wants you to become better. To build your identity, to create yourself, to reinvent yourself, to become somebody, to become a better version of yourself. Become richer, become stronger, become more attractive, become more influential, become more successful, become more famous, become extraordinary. Become. Every bookshop, every podcast, every motivational speaker, every advertisement, every social media, every influencer, in fact, every counselor, they all seem to pass the same message. They talk about who you are today, and they say who you are now is not enough. They say you should become better. Some people spend their entire life chasing another version of themselves. One achievement after the other, one certificate after another, one promotion after another, become the CEO, become self-employed, one title after another, always becoming, but never arriving. Allahu Akbar. It sounds inspiring, it sounds motivational, but is it truly true? Or has the world unknowingly sent us on the wrong journey altogether? Just all of a sudden. They make us to believe that everything is all about money. Make us believe that everything is all about having more to impress people. They make us believe that everything is all about getting a better car so as to impress people who don't care. Allahu Akbar. So my message for us right now in this regard is, look, stop trying to become. Stop trying to become. And I'll prove it to you. You see, when a traveler loses his way, what does he need? Does he need a new destination or the right direction? You understand what I mean now? Suppose a man leaves Lagos intending to travel to Kano. Halfway through the journey, he takes a wrong turn. Hours later, he discovers that he is traveling south instead of north. Tell me, what does he need to do? Does he need another destination? No. The destination has never changed. He needs to return to the correct road, not to a different destination. And maybe that is exactly the story of the human soul. The Quran speaks a different language. Islam certainly encourages us to grow. It encourages excellence. It encourages learning. It encourages ihsan. But beneath all of this lies a different movement. Not merely forward, but inward. Not merely upward, but homeward. The Quran's favorite word is not become. The Quran's favorite words are purify, recover, reconnect, and return. Return to Allah, return to the truth, and return to remembrance of Allah. And what a big difference this is. The worldly people say, invent yourself. But Allah says, remember me. The worldly people say, create a new identity. But Allah says, return to your original covenant. Return to me. Fitrah Allahi lati fatara nasa alayha la tabdila li khalqillah. The natural disposition of Allah upon which He created mankind, there's no changing Allah's creation. Quran chapter 30 verse 30. So chill here and reflect. Allah did not send you to this world as an unfinished accident. He sent you with a beginning, a divine beginning. Allah does not tell us to manufacture a fitrah. He tells us that it already exists. The original version of you was never lost. It was covered. So it's not a matter of reinvent. It's a matter of return. It's a matter of remove all of the things that are draining your energy, all of the things that are misleading you, all of the things that are giving you the wrong keys to your life, all of the things that are discouraging you from actually opening and exploring other doors of your life, new opportunities in your life, new outlooks of your life, Just remove the things that are blocking you. You are going to see very clearly. And finally, on our journey for today, and this is where we get very, very personal. I'm going to ask you this question now, and I want you to answer me within yourself. If you can answer this question correctly, then you understand everything we have been talking about. The question is, who will you be if you had married someone else? And what version of you remains locked because you opened the door of this spouse that you have? And this is, like I said, where our experience of today now gets very delicious. Let me cook further like this. There's a room in you that you had opened, and there's a room that you are yet to open. And there's this room that you opened when you wanted to get married. And this represents that version of you that exists in a parallel possibility, a version of you who married someone else. And this version is not a fantasy. It is a real potential. It's a path that is not taken. It's a door that remains closed. The version of you that is with another love, in another home, living another life. That version exists. It is not a fiction. It's a ghost that walks the corridors of your potential. It is the self that love did not unlock. Let me paint this picture to you from the natural world, and I want you to really sit with what I'm saying. Consider a garden with two paths. You can only walk one path. The other path remains untrodden, but it is still there, right? The flowers on that path still bloom in potential. The trees still grow in possibility. The path not taken is not nothing. It is a path that exists in the architecture of what could have been. Your life is that garden. You have chosen one path. You have chosen one love. But the other love, the other life, the other version of you is still there, still real, still waiting in the corridors of possibility. Possibility. The person you married now is one door that you opened. There are countless other doors of possibility. This door that you have opened now is your choice. The Quran says, وَقُلِ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. And say the truth is from your Lord. So whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ. You see, I'm singing it like a kind of poetry, because those phrases I'm making, they can be interchanged. Incidentally, they carry almost precisely exact number of alphabets, number of letters, and the rhythm is unmeasured by any other rhythm you can ever think about. But the reality is, فَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيُؤْمِنْ وَمَنْ شَاءَ فَلْيَكْفُرْ. They enter the same siga, they enter one kind of rhythm that should call our attention to what Allah is saying. Allah is saying, whoever wills, let him believe. Whoever wills, let him disbelieve. In other words, Allah is handing over the choice to us. You have many doors in your house, in your mansion. And this door of marriage is not one door. There are several doors of marriage. Door A, door B, door C, door D, up to door Z. And you also have door A1, door A2, door A3, on and on. It is ad infinitum. You have several doors of possibilities of the person you are supposed to have married, but you have chosen one door of marriage. Choice is a gift, but choice is also a lock. You are told to choose one door. Every choice unlocks one door and closes another door. The other love is the door that closed. The version of you that loves someone else is the version that remains behind that closed door. And that version is still real. It is still there. The other love is not just about a different person. It's about a different self. Who will you be if you had married someone else? Certainly not the same person. The version of you that exists with another love will have been shaped by different conversations. Allahu Akbar Kabira. It will have been shaped by different challenges, different joys, different sacrifices. That version of you will have grown in a different direction. That version of you will have unlocked something else inside you. The Prophet said, Al-Maru ma'a man ahaba. A person is with whom they love. You see in both Bukhari and Muslim. But the person is also with whom they married. The spouse you choose is not just a partner, they are a key. That's what I'm trying to say. They unlock a version of you that no other person could have locked or could have unlocked. And when you choose one love, you choose the door on another version of yourself. And look at this again. Consider the river that chooses one course over another. The river that flows to the sea is not the only river. The river that flows to the desert is also real. The river does not choose both. You have to choose one. It chooses one and the other course remains a possibility, a ghost, a path that is not taken. Allahu Akbar. Just like when people say, if a tree should fall in a jungle and there's nobody there, does it make any sound? This is a philosophical question. Does it make any sound? If a tree should fall in a jungle and there's nobody there to witness it or to listen to it, does it make any sound? No, it doesn't make any sound to you. It only makes a sound to whoever is there. And if there's nobody there, it doesn't make any sound at all. Because it's the presence of somebody there that determines the sound that you hear. If your ears are not there, then you cannot hear the sound. Whereas the tree still exists in the jungle and the tree still broke down. It's just that you are not there to witness it. If somebody asks you, does a fish feel thirsty? Does a fish get thirsty? The answer is neither yes nor no because you have never been a fish before. You have to be a fish before you know whether a fish feels or gets thirsty or not. The reality is that it's only a fish that can tell. You have to become a fish first before you know the true answer. Does a fish see water? Well, the answer is you have to become a fish first before you know whether the fish actually sees the water in which it lives. Just like we are here on earth, we cannot see the air. The fish too possibly does not see the water, but you have to become a fish before you realize that. If somebody asks you, what is the color of banana in a dark room? You cannot give the answer unless you are inside that dark room and there's a light for you to see the banana. In other words, the banana still exists with whatever color it has, but you are not in that room. You do not see the banana, so you don't know anything about it, but the banana still exists. The person you did not marry still exists. It is the person you have chosen to marry that you know. Your love is like that river we mentioned earlier on. You have chosen one course. The other love is the course not taken. And that course still exists in the architecture of what could have been, in what we can call possibility. But the other love is not just a loss. The one that you did not have is not just a loss, it's also a gift. It's a reminder that you are not defined by a single choice. It's a reminder that you are more than the version of you that exists in this relationship. It's a reminder that your identity is not fixed, it is fluid, it's potential, and ever unfolding. The Quran says, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. Perhaps you dislike a thing while it is good for you. Quran chapter 2 verse 216. The other love is not a failure. It is not a mistake. Because as I was speaking now, some of you are beginning to remember the people you ever loved in your life. The person that you wish you had married. That sweet little girl that appealed to you even since when you were a child. That handsome man that you wished you had married. You are remembering now as I speak. You are casting your Allah, but you are casting your mind and your heart back to those people I was talking about. The other love that you never had. The other husband that you never married. The other wife that was never yours. The path that was never taken. And that path not taken is not a loss. It is a gift. It's a reminder that you have chosen well eventually. It's a reminder that the love you have is the love you were meant to have. It's a reminder that the version of you that exists in this relationship is a version that is meant to exist. Allahu Akbar. Oh, Allahu Akbar. Now, let me ask you this question now. The question that haunts the soul. What if you had chosen differently? The question is not a sign of regret. It's a sign of awareness. Like I said, it's a sign that you recognize the multiplicity of your potential. It's a sign that you understand that your identity is not fixed, that it is shaped by the keys you have chosen. But this question must not become a prison. It must not become a source of discontent. It must not become a reason to doubt the love that you have now. The Quran says, وَلَا تَتَمَنَّوْا مَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بِهِ بَعْضَكُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. Allah says, I do not wish for that by which Allah has favored some of other people. Quran chapter 4 verse 32. Yes, don't look at what other people have. Do not wish for the love of other people, and do not wish for the other love. Do not wish for the other life. Do not wish for the other version of you. The love you have is the love Allah has chosen for you, and perhaps you could not have even chosen any better. The version of you that exists in this relationship is the version that Allah has unlocked. Long ago, a lady was asked, if you didn't marry your husband, this is your husband now, who would you have preferred to marry? You know what she said? She said, I would have preferred to marry Mufti Mink. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. She said, if I didn't marry my husband, I would have preferred to marry Mufti Mink. And then a guy too was asking me, this one was really, I'm not making this up. This guy was asking me if Miriam Limon has a grown-up daughter that he could marry. Allah Akbar. Oh, wishes. People have a lot of wishes. Allah Akbar. Wishes. I said, wait, if Miriam Limon were your mate, will you have wished to marry Miriam Limon? He said, yes. I said, if her husband married, if Saidu Tekumi should get hold of you, he will deal with you. You don't want to snatch his wife from him. Allah Akbar Kabira. You know how this kind of fantasy, this kind of, what do they normally call it? Yes, fantasy, right? The fantasy that people have, honestly, you can't imagine how fantastic the ideas some people have, how fantastic the ideas are. So if you are that lady that wish you could marry Mufti Mink, or you are that guy that wish to be an in-law to Saidu Takuma, let me teach you what to tell the version of you that eventually married someone else. I need you to say this to the version of you. You know, this is like self-talk. It is very neurological. And I believe that if you make these statements to yourself sometimes, it is good to actually talk to yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. So I want you to say this to yourself. Dear version of me who married someone else. No, this is you talking now. Dear version of me who married someone else. You are not a stranger. You are not a fantasy. You are a real possibility. You are a path not taken. You are a door not opened. And you are still part of me. You have taught me that love is a choice. You have taught me that every choice is a lock. You have taught me that the path not taken is not a failure. It is a possibility. You have taught me that everybody that I could not marry is not a failure to me. All of those people that I see fantasize about, they are just possibilities. And I'm grateful for you. But I cannot live in your house. I cannot walk your path. I cannot be you. I cannot be the one that has married your husband. I cannot be the one that has married your wife. I am the version of me that chose differently. And you have also chosen what you have chosen. I am learning to be grateful for this version of me that has chosen what I've chosen now. You are not a loss. Even though I did not marry you, you are not a loss. You are a reminder that I am not only what I have chosen, I'm also what I could have chosen. And that is a gift from Almighty Allah. That's what you are going to say to yourself, as in telling yourself about that version of you that you wish had married somebody else. So we have spoken at length about who will you be if you had married someone else and what version of you remains locked, But there's another side to this truth, one that is less comfortable and often unspoken. And this lecture will not be balanced if I don't mention this aspect. Every love, no matter how beautiful, also blocks something else. Do you want me to say that again? Every love that you have chosen, no matter how beautiful it is also blocking something that could be better. It's also blocking something that could be worse. Every choice of love is also a choice of loss. Every choice of loss is also a choice of love. The door you enter is the door you enter, but while you are inside it, other doors are closing. The love you have chosen has unlocked something precious, but it has also blocked something that is worse. What version of you has been left unchosen? What potential remains dormant because this love has occupied the space? Number one, some loves block independence. You become so intertwined with another version of your choice of love, so much so that you forget who you are without them. The version of you that stands alone, that knows its own strength, that trusts its own judgment, that version of you may remain locked because of this version of love that you have chosen. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the truth. That is the truth. Possibly you have married a version. You have married a version of love that has blocked the independence and the progress of your life forever. That is a possibility. Number two, some loves block ambition. You pour your energy into the relationship and the career and the art and the job and the calling that was waiting for you. It still waits. The version of you that pursued that dream remains in the shadows. Some of this love that you have chosen have already blocked your ambition, and all the energies you are pouring, these energies are just wasting. They may not yield any fruit. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a bitter truth. Some loves even block peace. The relationship itself becomes a source of tension for you. And the version of you that is calm, that is centered, that's at ease, that's in alignment with goodness, that version remains locked behind the door of constant conflict and constant tension. That is another bitter truth. And some loves block other lovers. They block other loves. The love you chose is not the only love that could have been. The friendships, the communities, the connections that could have flourished, some of them wither in the shadow of your primary love. The love you have chosen may have blocked the version of you that was meant to be something else. The love you have chosen may have blocked the version of you that was meant to be somebody great. Allahu Akbar Kabira. Once you open that door and you entered inside, all of that doors have been locked. The doors to other potentials have been closed. it is something that you need to grieve about. There's a grief in the locked potential. It's the grief of the path not taken. It's the grief of the person you could have been if you had chosen differently. It's the grief of the dream that is not realized, the art that is not created, the soul that is not fully expressed, the potential that is not fully discovered. Look at the natural world. Consider the river that carves a gully erosion. It chooses one path. The other path remains dry. They are still there. They are still potential. They are still waiting, but they will never know the flow of water. The love you have chosen is the water. The other paths are dry, and there's a grief in that. The Quran says, "Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut, wa innama tuwaffawna ujurakum yawmal qiyamah." Every soul will taste death, and you will only be given your full reward on the day of judgment. Quran chapter 3, verse 185. The locked potential is a kind of death. It's the death of what could have been, and you will grieve it. Even if you don't name it, even if you do not name it, even if you do not claim it, even if you do not admit it, you will grieve it. It is painful, and that is okay. It's okay to regret not marrying somebody else. Maybe you are thinking if you are a little more patient, you will have married that person. If you are a little more patient, you will have remained married to this person. If you are a little more patient, if you are a little more observant, you will have known that that other person you didn't marry was actually interested in you, but you were too afraid to make the move. Now you lost the person to somebody else, and the person is thriving and doing well, and you now realize that that was exactly your soulmate that you have lost to somebody else because of fear, lack of courage, because of carelessness, because of pride, because of ego, and maybe because of that stupid phone you were pressing when that person walked into the room. The person wanted to say something to you, but you are too engrossed, you couldn't listen. So the person walked away and moved on to somebody else who was ready to listen to her. Well, while you are grieving, the locked potential is not only a loss, it's also a wisdom. That's the other side of it. You know, it's always good to balance things up. It's a reminder that you cannot be everything, that you cannot live every life. A reminder that you cannot marry every spouse of your dream. It is not everybody that you love that will love you back. It's not everybody that you choose that will choose you back. It's not everybody that you want that you can marry or that can marry you. You cannot unlock every door, and that's another reality. You cannot access every potential. You can only be the person you are becoming with the love that you have chosen. You are the people you love. You are the person your love has made you. And they have unlocked something in you that would not have been unlocked, or that would have been locked by somebody else. And the doors that are locked are not a failure. They are also a gift in a way. They're a gift of focus. They're a gift of depth. They're a gift of commitment. They're a gift of trial. They are to make you become humble. To let you know you are not the most beautiful woman after all. To let you know you are not the most handsome man after all. To let you know that somebody can leave you. To let you know that somebody may not choose you even though you are good. And to also let you know that you may not choose somebody else that is good also, even when you wanted to. To let you know that you cannot know everything, that you cannot be everything, but you can be this. Yes, this one, this that you are now. You can be this listening to me right now, married to that person right now, in this house that you are now, with this person that you are now, and with this person that you are now. And this is enough. So if you are grieving the doors that have closed, you are not wrong to feel the loss. The paths not taken are real. The dreams not realized are real. The versions of you that remain locked are also real. and they deserve to be grieved. But do not let the grief become a prison. Do not let the locked doors become a source of regret. You have chosen a love, yes, a particular love. You have opened a door, yes, a particular door, and that door has led you somewhere real, somewhere true, somewhere important, not a fantasy. The locked potential is not a failure, it is a wisdom. It's a wisdom that says, look, you cannot be everything. You can only be what you are becoming. You can only be this. Trust that becoming. Trust the love you have chosen. Trust that doors that are locked for a reason. And trust that the one who opens and locks doors is the one who knows what is best for you. It's not all about you. It's not all about who you marry. What about the children that should come out of that door that you have opened? Allah possibly is more concerned about the children that will come from that marriage, not necessarily whether you are happy with that marriage or not. Have you ever heard this truth said to you before? It's not all about whether you love each other. Allah, the picture that Allah is painting is bigger than that. It's not all about you, husband and wife. It's not about whether you love each other or not. It's not about whether you are happy with each other or not. It's all about the kind of children that should come from that marriage and the children they will give back to. Allah has a need for that. Allah has a plan for that. You may not see the great-grandchildren that Allah intends to come from your lineage. You may not be alive to live to see them. But Allah knows why He has made it to be like that. So if you are there despising or hating your husband or undermining your wife, better go and hug them now. Because you have been given a job to give back to the kind of children that Allah wants to use for a greater purpose for humanity. When Allah is giving both of you the crown of success for having fathered and mothered such a child or such grandchildren, it's until then that you will know that you have not chosen wrongly. Allah has chosen what is best, not only for you. Life is not only about your interest. Life is not all about what you want or what you don't want. Life is not about what you like or what you dislike. Life is not about whether you are happy with your marriage or not. Life has bigger picture than that. Better embrace it as it is, knowing fully well and trusting fully well there are reasons behind the choice you made. Having said that, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm feeling very generous today. So let me share this verse with you before I allow you to go and have your lives back. Allah says, Inna Allah ashtara min al-mu'minina anfusahum wa amwalahum bi anna lahumul jannah. Quran chapter 9 verse 111. Allah says, indeed, Allah has purchased from the believers their lives and their properties in exchange for paradise. You know what that means? The love you have is a purchase. You have given your life to this love, and the exchange is paradise. Not a different love, not a different life. This particular love, this particular one you have chosen, this life that you live, this version of you, trust it. This could be your own chosen path to paradise without you realizing it. But nevertheless, despite all of these things that I'm saying, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I sit with the thoughts of this discussion we are having, I observe one thing. I observe that there's one question we have also not asked. A question that may be the most comfortable or the most uncomfortable of all. It's a question that arises when love has unlocked a version of you that you do not recognize, or you don't like, or you don't want to be. In as much as we say, well, Allah has a reason for everything, what if the reason you think Allah has is not even that reason? I'm saying this for you not to go and sit down and say, okay, because Abdulfattah said there's a bigger reason why you are where you are and that you should stay. But you should have to look at it the other way around too. What if the version of you that love unlocked is not the version of you that you want to be? What if there's still possibility for you to change the door and unlock another door? This is the unspoken fear of many lovers. The love they chose, the person they married, the life they built. It has unlocked something in them, but that something is not what they expected. It is not what they hoped for. It's a version of themselves that feels foreign, that feels uncomfortable, that feels even regrettable. They wanted to become the best versions of themselves, but they have ended up becoming the beast version of themselves. Consider the plant that grows in the shade. It does not choose the shade. It is planted there by some people. It grows in a certain way. And what does that mean? The way it grows, it doesn't really love that way. It wants and it prefers to be in another way. It wants to reach for the light to become, okay. But because it was planted in a shade, it has now become thin and stretched, never quite flourishing. The plant is not a failure, it's simply a response to its environment. But it may not be the plant that it was meant to be, not the plant it will have preferred to be. Your love is that environment. It has shaped you, it has unlocked a version of you, but that version may not be the version you are meant to be. Now, there's a difference between you and that plant. That plant cannot move on. That plant cannot stand. That plant cannot move away. You are not a plant. You are not planted there. If there's possibility for you to move, still move and leave the choice of what happens in the future to Allah. I'm saying this so that you will not justify staying in an abusive relationship. I'm saying this so that you will not justify being a masochist, enjoying being punished, enjoying the pains that's inflicted on you. I'm saying this so that you will not think that if you stay too long in a relationship that's not working, so that you will not think it will not affect even those children that you thought are going to be great. Those children will have died before they reach maturity. Not physically, they will have died emotionally. Something inside their heart will have died, and they would have become sociopath or psychopath because of the kind of environment that you make them to stay. The uncomfortable truth is that not every love unlocks the best version of you, like I mentioned earlier on. Some loves unlock the wounded version of you, the traumatized version of you. Some loves unlock the defensive version of you. Some love unlock the version of you that is smaller, the version of you that is angrier, the version of you that is more fearful, less generous, but more dangerous. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar Kabira. And that is why I want to remind you of this hadith again. The Prophet said, Al-maru ala dini khalili, falyanzuru ahadukum man yukhallil. A man is upon the religion of his close friend, so let each of you look to whom he befriends. The same applies to the one you love or the one you choose to love. You are becoming like the one you love. And if that love is not leading you toward the best version of you, then it is leading you away from it. So please, don't forget, I'm just reiterating this so that you don't stay on one side without looking at the other side. So that you don't look at only one side and you forget about the other side. And so that you don't become one-sided in the way you look at life and the way you understand this very critical and very crucial discussion that we are having now. Now, let us open the final door so that we can call it a date. Have you ever noticed how exhausting it is to live against your own conscience, to say what you don't believe, to become who you are not, to smile when your heart weeps, to pretend while your mind protests? It is very exhausting because every lie requires energy, every mask requires maintenance, and every performance demands a rehearsal. But truth does not. Yes, truth rests. If you find yourself restless, it means you have not really got the right key. It means you have not consulted the right key. Allah says, Ya ayyatu an-nafsul mutma'inna, O you tranquil soul, Quran chapter 89 verse 27. You should notice that Allah is speaking about tranquility, because when your outer life and your inner reality finally become one, the war inside you ends. Peace is not merely the absence of problems, it's the absence of division within the soul. And I want you to understand that very well. It is very important for you to respond to the call of Allah in the glorious Quran, as Allah calls you to hold on to the key that can give you the true happiness and the true success. And that is knowledge. And that's not only knowledge, it's the knowledge of you knowing who you are. Once you know who you are, you will not mistake one door for another one. You will not mistake a marriage that can work from the one that has already failed. You will not mistake a marriage that is meant to draw you close to Allah from the one that will take you away from Allah. You will not mistake a marriage that is headlong to hellfire for the one that is building paradise for you, even when it is uncomfortable. Now, permit me to share what I believe is the greatest surprise in the entire house. After all the searching, after all the philosophy, after all these rooms, you finally discover that the most beautiful room in the mansion is not labeled success, is not labeled wealth, is not labeled recognition, is not labeled marriage, is not labeled influence, is not labeled love, is not labeled lover. It appears and it bears only one inscription. And once you are able to understand this inscription and you open this door, you are made. Do you know what is written on the entrance of that door? What is written there is Abdullah, the servant of Allah. The servant of Allah. On that day, what will matter most is not whether the world knew your name or whether you married the love of your life, but whether you faithfully live the name Allah loves most. Abdullah is servant of Allah. The highest honor in Islam has never been celebrity. It has always been servitude. That is why Allah described his greatest creation with his most beloved title, Subhanalladhi asra bi abdi laylan. Glory be to Allah who took his servant by night. Quran chapter 17 verse 1. Allah did not first say his messenger or his prophet. He didn't say Muhammad, he said his servant. Because before every mission comes surrender. And then you see that you have to serve before you actually get the crown. Before every elevation comes ubudiyya, being the servant of Almighty Allah. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the room where every soul can finally find rest. The best compatibility you can ever think about in marriage is when both couples share the true nature of ubudiyya. Both servants of Allah, both ready to worship Allah through rendering services to each other. And this is why they say marriage is ibadah. Because that is who you are before every worldly label. The servant of Allah, that is who you were before you got a spouse to marry. And that's who you remain after every worldly title disappears. Kings lose their kingdoms, scholars leave their libraries, merchants leave their wealth, celebrities lose their applause. But the honor of being Abdullah never expires. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the room where the soul finally breathes. That is the room where the soul can finally find rest. Maybe you should just come home and be the servant of Almighty Allah. If you can do this for yourself, you see that you know that you even have this homesickness already. You are feeling like going home actually, but something is keeping you from going home, from returning back to Almighty Allah and holding the key of the glorious Qur'an to ask yourself, who exactly am I? And now you have discovered that you are Abdullah. You are the servant of Almighty Allah. Anything and anyone, any relationship or any love, any friend or any marriage that will stop you from being the servant of Allah, that marriage is a wrong key. That marriage is a wrong door. Make effort to make it work. Make effort to turn it to ibadah. But if you see that this is not ibadah, this is not being a servant of Allah, but this is becoming a servant of love, a servant of a being, a servant of a husband, a slave of a wife, a slave of a marriage. Once you become a slave to something else, apart from being a slave to Almighty Allah, That is not your home. That is not your door. That is not your door. But Allah says, Ya ayatu an-nafsul mutma'inna, irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan maridiyya. O you soul that has found rest, that has found sakina, that has found tranquility, return to your Lord, pleased with him and pleasing to him. Quran chapter 89 verses 27 to 28. And notice again, Allah says, irji'i, return. The final invitation in the Quran is not to become. It is to come home. It is to return home. So, while we were asking, are you really you? Now, after everything we have said now, the question is, have you returned to the person Allah created you to be? This is because authenticity in Islam is not self-expression detached from revelation. The Quran is your key. It is self-discovery illuminated by revelation of the Quran. It's not doing whatever you feel. It's not choosing whoever you love. It's not choosing whoever you are infatuated to. It's not choosing whoever you are crazy about. You can be wrong. You can be crazy at the same time. In fact, you can be crazily wrong. It is becoming faithful to the fitrah that Allah entrusted to you. Choosing based on Allah's own choices. Choosing based on Allah's own criteria. Not your own fantasy. The truest version of you is not the flashiest version. It's not the richest version. It's not the most admired version. It's not the version that's in love. The truest version of you is the version closest to Allah. Is the version that has chosen to be the servant of Allah. Because that is truly who you are. And let me pray for you now. Allahumma ya muqallib al-qulub thabbit qulubana ala dinik. Wa ya musarrif al-qulub sarrif qulubana ila ta'atik. Allahumma arina anfusana kama khalaqtaha wa la kama shawwahatha dunya. Allahumma azil anna kulla ma yahjubuna an fitratina. Waftah lana abwaba qulubina. وجعلنا نعود إليك عودا جميلا وجعل خير أيامنا يوم نلقاك وأنت راض عنا. Amen. O Allah, you are the turner of hearts. Keep our hearts firm upon your religion. O director of heart, direct our heart toward your obedience. O Allah, allow us to see ourselves as you created us, not as the world has distorted us. Remove from us everything that veils us from our fitrah. Open the doors of our hearts. Grant us a beautiful return to you. And make the best of our days the day that we meet you while you are pleased with us and we pleased with you. Amen. My name is Abdulfattah Adeyemi. Now I know that the greatest achievement in life is not becoming extraordinary. It is returning to the authentic version of me. The authentic version of me. For me to be authentic to my fitrah, authentic to my amana, and authentic to my Lord. وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ وَصَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَى سَيِّدِنَا مُحَمَّدٍ وَعَلَى أَهْلِهِ وَأَصْحَابِهِ أَجْمَعِينَ. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Welcome to a place where we celebrate your greatness and nurture your path to even greater accomplishments. Acquire Abdulfattah Adeyemi's soul-lifting handmade masterpieces and experience the divine beauty of Islamic artistry. Join the community. Transform your life. Edit your universe.